Welcome to this explainer. If you're an educator who's just completely tired of wrestling with clunky tech and you're ready to truly elevate your teaching game, well, you are exactly in the right place. Consider this explainer your ultimate commercial showcase. We're here to give you essential exposure to the technology design behind modern e-learning frameworks. Today, we're unpacking your brand new digital toolkit. We're going to break down all that complex jargon and make e-learning tech feel intuitive, practical, and honestly, incredibly empowering. We're going to show you exactly how leveraging the right tools can save you time, massively boost student engagement, and totally transform your virtual classroom.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for today. We've got a really clear 5-part framework to run through. We'll start with the e-learning tech foundation. Then we'll step inside the virtual classroom. After that, we'll cover connecting with communication tools, building your digital lessons, and finally, engaging via social networks. Let's jump right in.
Starting off with Part 1, the e-learning tech foundation. Before we can even think about teaching online, we really need to understand the invisible backbone that makes this all possible. At its core, any e-learning framework completely relies on a web server. And that term actually means two things. It's the physical hardware itself, but it's also the software running on that machine. It's what safely sends your digital lessons across the internet right into your students' web browsers. Think of it like the ultimate distribution center for your educational content. Even if you're not the one personally plugging in cables in a freezing cold server room, knowing what a web server actually does is absolutely foundational to understanding how your materials reach your learners.
And honestly, the best part about knowing this basic definition, it empowers you. Knowing what a web server does means you can confidently hold your own when you're talking with the IT guys. You absolutely do not need a computer science degree, but having just a little bit of shared vocabulary, that bridges the gap between the pedagogy you excel at and the tech your school manages. It makes you a true collaborator in the technology design of your e-learning framework, rather than just, a passive user.
Let's move right along to Part 2. Now that we understand the server side of things, let's step out of the server room and into the virtual classroom where the actual magic happens.
The beating heart of this virtual classroom is your Learning Management System, or LMS. This software package is essentially your digital school building. It's the central hub that lets you create and deliver content, keep an eye on participation, and assess performance. And the real commercial magic of an LMS, it does all of this anytime, anywhere. Whether your student is at the campus library or halfway across the globe, the LMS is their 24/7 destination.
Now, just like you'd lock a physical classroom door to keep your students safe, an LMS requires secure entry. A simple username and password safely gets you and your students into this dedicated learning space. It's super important because it ensures that all those robust discussions, sensitive grades, and your intellectual property stay completely private and protected.
Once they log in, boom, welcome to the student's home base. Notice how a good dashboard provides immediate, highly organized access to literally everything they need. They've got instant links to course descriptions, digital libraries, and learning materials, which you can easily upload as HTML, Word docs, PDFs, whatever you need. It neatly packages the whole educational experience into one intuitive interface. Imagine the sheer convenience and time-saving power this offers to a busy, easily distracted learner.
And here's a huge plus. You don't even need to leave the platform to reach your students. That's thanks to seamlessly integrated tools like a built-in mail inbox. This keeps all course-related communication completely centralized. Students aren't bouncing between their personal Gmail, a bunch of different messaging apps, and your course. The whole shebang is cleanly contained right there inside your virtual classroom. Speaking of staying in touch, let's transition into Part 3, connecting with communication tools. A really common misconception is that online learning is isolating. But with the right framework, we can instantly bridge that digital distance and keep that vital human connection alive.
So the secret to bridging that gap really comes down to understanding two types of communication, synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous happens in real time. Think live chat rooms, instant messaging, or an audio conference where you're running a live Q&A. Everyone is there, right at the exact same moment. Asynchronous communication, on the other hand, has a built-in delay. This is your email and your discussion forums, and these are incredibly powerful because they let students participate at their own pace, which is literally a lifesaver if your learners are across different time zones or juggling crazy work schedules.
Take an asynchronous discussion forum, for example. Often, a tutor will kick things off by posting an assignment. What makes this so unbelievably effective is how it empowers the naturally shy learners, or maybe students who are still building their language fluency. They don't have the high-pressure stress of a live, fast-paced debate. They can read the prompts, really take their time to formulate a thoughtful response, and engage comfortably. It totally democratizes the classroom voice. Every single student gets a chance to shine.
All right, moving to part 4, building your digital lessons. We've got our server, our LMS, and our communication channels open. Now, how do we actually fill up that virtual classroom with engaging materials?
Well, as the famous saying goes, and this is absolutely true in e-learning, content is king. You could have the most expensive, state-of-the-art system in the world, but if the material inside it is just blocks of dry text, your students are going to check out immediately. Having the system means nothing without quality material that actually motivates people. So the big question, how do we create that royal content without working 80 hours a week?
Enter course authoring tools. Honestly, these are going to be your absolute best friends. They are your new digital lesson planners. These software packages let you build stunning lessons without writing a single line of programming code. They come packed with libraries of templates where you can literally just drag and drop objects, format your text, and instantly generate automated tests like true-false questions or drag and drop quizzes. The software does all the heavy technical lifting, meaning you get to focus entirely on teaching.
Now, to make sure your course doesn't feel like someone is just staring at a static textbook pasted onto a monitor, you'll want to use media editors. These brilliant tools let you seamlessly weave together rich graphics, like photos or illustrations, with audio elements. You can add background mood music or record your own energetic voice narration. It completely transforms a flat page into a dynamic multimedia experience that hits every single learning style.
And the really cool part? You don't have to hunt down a dozen different complicated programs. Commercial suites bundle all these powerful authoring tools and media encoders together. They give you a complete, highly user-friendly studio right on your desktop, so you can build, test, and beautifully refine your content before you ever even hit upload on your LMS.
But wait, what if you've been teaching for years and you already have a treasure trove of incredible materials? Enter content converters. Look, we all know time and budget are tight in education. These magical little tools effortlessly transform your older files, like standard Word docs or giant PowerPoint presentations, into sleek, web-ready formats. It's a total game changer. You can repurpose your best legacy content, saving enormous amounts of time while getting your polished e-learning framework up and running super fast.
Finally, let's wrap things up with part 5, engaging via social networks, because modern e-learning definitely doesn't have to be confined strictly to the walls of your LMS.
We all know what social networking sites are, right? They're web-based services where people create profiles to connect over shared interests or activities. But while we usually think of them for, scrolling in our downtime, they hold immense, largely untapped potential for collaborative e-learning. They naturally break down barriers, facilitate the rapid sharing of ideas, and foster genuine peer-to-peer connection.
Bringing in familiar platforms like Twitter is just a fantastic way to bridge the gap between your students' daily digital habits and your educational goals. It completely opens the door for quick, informal exchanges. Students can share breaking news articles, bounce ideas off each other, and build an authentic sense of community that extends way beyond the formal course dashboard.
So, we have covered a ton of ground today. We've unpacked your brand new digital toolkit, starting from the foundational web server, moving into your central LMS hub, exploring seamless communication, discovering those massive time-saving authoring tools, and finally looking at the power of social networks. So I want to leave you with this one final provocative thought. How will you harness these incredible technologies to design truly meaningful, engaging e-learning in your own classroom? The tools are out there, they are more intuitive than ever, and they are just waiting for your expertise to bring them to life. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Get out there, build something amazing, and keep teaching.